So if you play a 7-string guitar, chances are you do it so that you have a low B or even a low A and drop A so that you can hit those nice, awesome chugging riffs. But that's not the only way to deal with a 7-string guitar. You could also go up. And that's what we're going to be taking a look at today. So we're going to be tuning EADGBEA, A being the fourth of E. We're going to have an EA at the top, just like we have an EA at the bottom. You could look at this in a few different ways. You could shift that interval, so you'd go EADGC instead. That would mess things up a little bit. So today I'm going to stick with what we got here. So it'll play just like, E to E, and then you've got that other high A. I've actually never messed with this myself, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, or really even if it's going to work, but we're going to find out. I'm going to be using this really cheap Jackson 7-string. It's the only 7-string I have. As you can see, we have a super gnarly string here on the bottom. This is our 95. When we were testing it, I used this guy to test out how it played. It plays pretty well, but it's going to be a little bit different than what we're doing today. So we're going to take those off and switch it out with a different set. Let's see what I did here. Yeah. All right, so we're going to go 8, 10, 13 and a half, 20 wound, 30, 40, 52. I did a couple of weird things outside of adding that high 8. I went with a 20 wound for the G, just so we would have 4 wound strings and 3 plain strings. You could play with 4 plain and 3 wound if you liked that. And then I bumped up to 30, 40, 52 on the bottom. We're cut for a slightly larger gauge, not quite this 95 as you can see on here, so I wanted to go a little bit beefier on the bottom. But you could do just a standard 10 to 48 set with a high 8. I don't usually recommend going for a 7 up for A. It gets so weak, it can be kind of hard to get it tuned up there without seeing some breakage. So I'm going to stick with an 8, but of course, whatever you do at home is that's your own thing. So, try it out. It just doesn't usually work for me. So let's string this up and then see what the heck we do with it. All right, so in that part you just watched, I was like, yeah, use an 8 and, it'll be fine. Kind of alluded to, maybe you should do this yourself. No, you should not do this yourself. I went through 3 different strings, and this one just barely, just barely works. And we're in A432 because I couldn't get quite up to 440. I kept breaking around 430 or 432 hertz. So we're going to see how long this holds. I haven't even clipped this end because I'm worried it's going to slip. Don't do this at home. If you did, I think it would work on if you had a Jaguar scale, beautiful. 24 inch, no problem. 24 3/4, probably fine too. 26 and a half, or maybe this is 27, I can't remember. Don't do it. It's a terrible idea. I regret everything. But since we have it working for now, let's see what it sounds like. I really haven't messed around on it much, and I'm excited, but I'm very nervous. So let's take a look and see what happens. Okay, so we've got all of our basic, things we can do in EADGBE, but we have this little A. So on an E chord, you can grab it with your pinky, which is kind of fun. Or on a standard G chord, you could just hit it with your pinky. Oh no, I'm being dumb. Never mind. You would actually hit it with your ring finger like that. I'm thinking of it as the G when it's actually the B. That's kind of nice. Of course, you're ending the scale there on the major third, or not the scale, the chord, which is a little weird, but it is pleasant. Feels a little bit more normal on the E, ending it on the 5th than on the major third. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see what happens on some other stuff. I'm just kind of screwing around while it hasn't broken yet. Let's see what we could do. Yeah, just thinking through my chord shapes, minor, a standard minor, that's doable, but you need another finger to do a major chord correctly. Yeah, haven't figured all that out yet, but very weird. I don't know. That was interesting. I do have to admit that really high note at the very top, which is, I guess, an octave above that high A. So that is an A6, I think, A6. That's kind of fun. I mean, coming through a guitar speaker, it's almost like it can't even process it right. It sounds like almost bit crushed or something. Yeah, that's kind of fun. I don't know, there's a lot of utility to it, but it is neat. It kind of reminds me of note slide players will sometimes play when they go way up past the highest fret, except it's got a little bit more resonance to it than that. Chordally, very weird. Still not sure how I would integrate it, and obviously, scales get a little strange too. But it's fun. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure I have enough time today or enough time with the string working to figure out proper ways to use it, and I wouldn't recommend it long term, but it is a little fun, especially up in the very high-end register. So I'm going to screw around with this for a little bit. I think it's going to break, but I hope this was, I don't know, something educational. Maybe you learned something not to do. I don't know. It was neat on our end. Very frustrating for a bit, but neat once we got it working. Anyway, thanks for watching.